Hi, today we're going to be talking about multiplication and division with real numbers. Again, relatively simple, but it's good to have a reminder every now and then. So before we get into this, we know that a positive number times a positive number will give you a positive number. A positive number times a negative number will give you a negative number. A negative number times a positive number will give you a negative number. A negative number times a negative number will give you a positive number. With that in mind, we have two negative numbers and we are asked to find the product. So negative 2 times negative 11. And the parentheses don't really matter in this case. They're just putting it there to be clear. Negative 2 times negative 11 is going to give us positive 2. It basically gets rid of these. So it's going to be 22. Positive 22. Find the quotient. We have two negatives on the top and the bottom. We know that when we have a positive divided by a positive, it will give you a positive. When we have a positive divided by a negative, it will give you a negative. When we have a negative divided by a positive, it will give you a negative. And when we have a negative divided by a negative, it will give you a positive. We have a negative divided by a negative in this case, so it's going to be 3 divided by 3. Anything divided by itself is going to equal 1. This one is asking us to find the quotient of 44 divided by 0. Now this is sort of a trick question because there is not going to be a quotient that works. Because anything divided by 0 is undefined. I was just recently explained this for the first time in a way that made sense. And I'll share that with you. Hopefully it makes sense to you. And hopefully I'm able to explain it as well as my teacher did. So, if you have a number like 4 divided by 1 equals 4, we can take this bottom number times the answer, and we should get this top number. So, 1 times 4 is equal to 4. If we have 5, 1 second, let me think. I'm trying to think of easy numbers. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. We can take 5 times this bottom number. We can take our result times the denominator, and we should get the numerator. So 5 times 3 is equal to 15. However, if you have when you have something like 0 divided by 18 equals 0, we can times the bottom number by the answer. We can and then that should give us the top number, the numerator, which checks out. 0 times 18 is equal to 0. However, when we have something like 13 divided by 0 equals, we could just choose any number we wanted. It could be 13, it could be 1, it could be 0. However, when you have 13 divided times 0, or any number times 0, as long as the top number is not going to be 0, it doesn't work because 13 times 0 does not equal 13. 1 times 0 does not equal 13. Anything times anything is not going to equal 13, so it doesn't work. There is one case where you can divide by 0. We do not cover that in this class, but 0 divided by 0 can equal anything. Because if you had a 1 on this side, you could do 1 times 0, and that would equal 0, right? And that equals the top, right? Or 13 times 0 equals 0, which is the top, right? But we don't need to deal with that. It's not something we need to worry about. Even in the math class that I'm in, we don't worry about that yet. So, anyway, this is going to be undefined. And 0 divided by 42, we went over this. It's going to be 0. Hopefully that helped you understand a little better. And yeah, have a good one.